Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order, welcome to Panwo TV. And my camera's focusing now, it wasn't focusing before. Yeah, it's a lovely early morning here in Oxford, just crossing over the famous Magdalen Bridge. I'm going away somewhere, yeah, I'm actually going away. I'll tell you where I'm going in a minute, but first of all, I feel on a bit of a downer. I shouldn't. This is the first time I've actually been away since, you know, the Great Escape 2, which I think was last autumn sometime. And I'm finally going away again. The reason I feel a little bit of a downer for two reasons. Firstly, it was on the news, just one of the last things I saw before I went to bed last night. Oh, it was a bad evening. One of the last things I saw was a news report saying it's quite likely the lockdown will be delayed. The lockdown on the 21st will be delayed. They're going to make an announcement on Monday. They think it's quite likely it'll be delayed. And that's bad news for all kinds of reasons, because, of course, it kind of indicates that Boris is not back into control like I thought he would be, especially if this is the start of another cycle of lockdowns and non-lockdowns. Secondly, it's just the whole lockdown pandemic is such an awful thing, as I've said before. It's a real kind of, someone described it very well, it's elite hysteria. It's not the people being hysterical and the elite trying to control them. It's the elite being hysterical, it's the people trying to control them. It's a hysteria generated by people and supported by people who can afford to take a year and a half off work. They can afford these gaps in their income. They have the savings, they have the capital. And the people who suffer are those who can't. And it's also, you can just sense actually that it supports my very cynical idea of the people who control this world. They are literally like power mad. You can just see them, the realisation hitting them that the lockdown's going to end, and they say, "Oh no, please, no, just one more month, please." And I think Boris might well delay us for as long as a month. Please, just one more month of complete power over the masses, please, we don't want to give it up. Bastards, absolute scum. And the worst thing of all is, with the promise of the lockdown lifting, of course, everyone's keen to get back to normal. That includes the conference circuit. There are 2 conferences booked during the month period following the 21st of June, where I'm booked to speak. I was planning on attending, I'm speaking. One is Awake and Aware at the UFO Academy, and the other is Spaces at the Barge 2021. If the lockdown is delayed, I don't know how that'll affect them in terms of the law, how many people can attend and things like that. But it'll be a very, very much reduced event. They may even have to be cancelled. Just for one more bloody month. For what? What's it going to do? Well, just one more month to flatten the curve again. And then what'll happen after that? Is that the end of it? Or, oh no, we're going to need another lockdown. We've got a third wave now. And is it going to carry on indefinitely? Another reason I'm a bit on a downer. Last night I had a video banned. Again, this is getting very tedious and very upsetting, very stressful. The video I had banned was Boris and Trump return. I was about to go to bed. I mean, I had to be up at 4 a.m. I had my alarm set for 4 a.m. Just about to go to bed, and suddenly a notice popped up saying, "We've removed your video because it violates our community guidelines. We believe it constitutes harassment and bullying." Well, that's a great thing to go do. That's going to make me sleep. That's going to make me sleep soundly, isn't it? Oh, did they know I was going away today? And they just thought they'd ruin it for me. I can't help feeling paranoid like that. So I immediately appealed it, and I couldn't go to bed until I watched the whole damn thing again. All 55 minutes of it. I had to watch it, obviously, like I've got a recording of it. I always download everything. I watched it all again, and I couldn't see anything in it that constitutes harassment or bullying at all. It's obviously a bot that did it. I've appealed it. I've put in an immediate appeal just saying, look, there's nothing in that. I'm baffled as to why you think this. There's nothing in that that constitutes this. Could you please restore my video? It's possible they'll do it. It's even possible that by the time you watch this, it'll be restored. It usually takes longer though. It usually takes a couple of weeks to a month or so. It's possible though. They are speeding things up a little bit. However, I have appealed things like this before, and they haven't actually honoured my appeal. The Jews video, for example, that was removed permanently. It's now not available on YouTube. As I explained I made a video about it. If this happens here, if I get this shit this time, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to make a video about it. I think these things need to be documented, even though they get a bit repetitive. You know, another video banned, another old tech channel gone. All these things have to be documented. They have to be lamented. They have to be mourned. And it's helped to get things off my chest. In the meantime, of course, once again, I'm very, very glad I did this. The video is available, like all my content. It is available on all tech sites, so my BitChute channel, and Odyssey and Library. You can go there, you'll find it. Go to the Herpanwo TV blog, and there's like a notice with all the links in them. There's like a link tree of all of them. So it's possible, I don't know, I mean, I'm going away now. I won't be back till tomorrow evening. It's possible in that time the video could be restored, but unlikely. In which case I'll be having a little bit of a rant about that. Funny enough, you know, just the day before this happened, I joined brand YouTube and Rumble. I just thought it's about time I did that. I haven't uploaded anything yet, but I have joined it. So that's good. Something needed to be done. I've now joined it, so at least it's there. At least it's done. I can start uploading now. In fact, this has given me the impetus to do so. Now, anyway, that's enough whining. I mean, I'll cheer up in a little while. Don't worry. By the time I got to bed, it was like gone 1 o'clock, and I'm like had about 2.5 hours sleep, if that. I can sleep on the coach, actually. It's a good thing about that's one thing I can't do on a train is sleep. Because some bugger will come and pick your pockets. Or they'll pour drink all over you or something. Or you won't be able to sleep because you can't find anywhere to sit. At least on the coach you don't get that. So I'm getting an early coach. I'm going to where I'm going. Where am I going? Yes, I will cheer up later. Well, I'm going back to Pentyrch. Kas Clark is organising a Skywatch. So I'm going to go back there and see what we can find. See what we can see. I don't know what it'll be. But it sounds like she's got everything sorted. It's quite a few people coming, apparently. And maybe meet some people I know there. It'd be nice to see people, I'll tell you. Yeah, it's going to be good to get away. Bloody good to get away, I'll tell you. So I'm going to go to Cardiff. It's a 6-hour journey to Cardiff, and then that's the thing about one thing about the coach is it takes a long time. But I don't know, I don't mind. I've got things to read and stuff. I don't mind. I can sleep. So yeah, it's nice to be getting away from Oxford again. Oh, it's lovely. I mean, it'll be if the lockdown is extended, it'll be a great shame. But you know, at some point then it'll be over, and the government will have to find some other crisis to justify their existence. One thing's for certain is there has to be some kind of crisis. They can't just leave us in peace. They always need to have some kind of crisis to keep us on our toes. Have you noticed that? It's always to be something. If there's nothing real, they'll make something up. Anyway, at the high street here. I went past the road statue and didn't point it out. You know, the bloody wokists are trying to take it down again. I think that was the last time I came to the city centre. You know, the last time I walked up the street, it was sometime last year when I made the roads. I made the road statue. Do you remember? I think it was mid-afternoon. It was almost as quiet as this. Do you remember? Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to head for the coach station now. All right, I'm here at the coach station now. I'll tell you one thing that's really changed since I last came to the city centre, which is like a long time ago, because Colin, I didn't come here last year when I went to Miles's place, because Colin gave me a lift and he picked me up. Homelessness, it's got worse, and there's no surprise there. Every single one of these shop doorway, I mean, there's like 5 people up on Corn Market, every shop doorway with a person in, sleeping, wrapped in blankets, just on a mattress. And I was just walking past the cinema coming into Gloucester Green. Bloke came up to me, said, oh, my name's Graham, he says, he sort of introduced himself. I gave a long conversation. I'm an ex-soldier, I served in Northern Ireland and things like that. And I knew where he was going. I mean, he sort of acted friendly and everything. I knew where he was going. I said, look, can I help you at all? I had to just hurry him along, and he says, I just need some breakfast or something, you know. And I just said, you know, look, you've seen my video, you know, my argument with homelessness. I'm very sorry, I don't donate cash on the street. And he said, oh, please help me out. And I said, don't try to make me feel guilty. And I don't like it when they do that. He says, look, honestly, I'm really, really hungry. And I said, I donate to homeless charities, and I do. I don't donate cash on the street. And he said, and he just walked off. You can't avoid that. You just can't. It's everywhere. I mean, it's got worse. I mean, when I was a little kid, there's always been a few homeless people. I mean, when I was a little kid, there were like 1 or 2. I mean, my dad was a kid. He said there was 1 or 2. But they're just like 100. There's about 100, I think, in Oxford. There must be at least 100 people sleeping rough probably around the city, mostly in the city centre, and I just don't, you know, what if I'd given him some money? What if I took pity on him? What did I say, took pity on him? You see, I do take pity on him. I take pity on them all. What if I'd given him some money, got him some breakfast? What would it do apart from easing my conscience? That's what I'd be doing it for. I wouldn't be paying him. I wouldn't be paying him out of kindness. I'd be paying him for the sake of myself, to ease my conscience. And they know that, you see. That's why I'm known have to repeat the points I made in my argument with a homeless person video. As he walked off, I just said, good luck. And I meant that. I could give away all my money, then I'd be homeless. And I'll be wandering the streets myself going, look, come on mate, I'm an ex-hospital porter. I served at the John Radcliffe, can you give me some money? It wouldn't solve a thing, I can't fix this. I'll give money, I do support a homeless charity. That's all you can do really. So far, it's been a bit of a bummer so far since last night. Let's hope things get better. Okay, I'm on my way, just leaving Oxford now. Coach is on time. Well, I'm on my way to London. I've got my 2 + 2 = 5 Orwellian face mask there. I must say, they've done these countries up nicely. They've got like Guinea TV at the front. It's quite good, these coaches. I don't know what this is. Phone dock. There's your USB port. There's a light there, so very nice. The sun's up. It looks like it's really nice. Look, there's a horrible haze. There is, funny enough, another blonde, she contacted me on Facebook yesterday and said that the sky looked purple when I looked out of the window. This is like about 9:30, it was just getting dark, and it was a deep purple, like, it was just covered by this purpley cloud. And there's this horrible place, there's a few chemtrails there, do you see? And there's very thin, high haze over the sky. But it's still a lovely morning. It's actually, since we're going sky watching, it's quite nice when it's like this. I mean, the weather forecast is very good. It's always a bit of a gamble in this country, and can't complain there, I don't think. So I'm just going to sit and relax. Now, for some reason, I've got to go to London first. I live in Oxford. I left Oxford. If you look on a map, you'll see that I should be going west to get to Cardiff, but for some reason, I don't know why, they make you go on the coast to London first. And this happened when I went to Swansea UFO Network, if you remember. I've got to do the same again. Doesn't make sense. You go all the way east to go all the way west again, but there you are. This is odd. Going through the Stoke and Church Gap. There's like a really low cloud over the top of it. Do you see the mist at the top of that ridge? Strange. This place often has some of these little microclimates. Like the haze is actually quite low. It's almost like fog. It's like fog coming over. Can't see the top of that tower. It's like an area on top of it, you can't see it. Right, let's get off the coach. I'm in London and finally got this mask off. Every time I come here it's a bit different. Last time I came here was, I think it might have been, God, it might have been, I think, you know, it was when I had that police interview, which was well over a year ago now. I think it might have been back then. Yeah. Anyway, every time I come here it's changed a bit. They put up another these great big piles. But the coach has stopped in a different place, so I've now got to find my way to Victoria Coast Station. I've got almost an hour actually. I might nip up the road and have a look at the Reptile House, see if it's changed very much since Phil the Greek popped off. Not a fan of London, I must say. It's very warm, the weather's warm. You see there's still chemtrails up there, but the haze has cleared slightly. The purple colour that another blonde noticed has eased a little bit, I think. So I'm going to just head now. See, this is, I think, the new entrance to the underground. Well, alright, I'll find my way around. Okay, I've come out of Victoria Station now. I'm just heading here down this road. This road's shut actually to traffic, and there's a huge crane in the middle of the road. I'll go past there in a minute and see what it is. I've got myself a little drink here, a multivitamin boost, just because to try and make me feel a bit better. I don't know, I just don't feel quite myself today. It's not too bad, but I think they're actually assembling a tower crane. I think that looks like a segment of a tower crane. You can see what they're doing up there. God, well, that's huge. Look at that. That's a huge crane, isn't it? Unless it's a crashed UFO or something. I tend to think these things, especially when I'm wearing a t-shirt like this. So I got to wear my proper t-shirt. But they still got two of them actually. But we come along here, and in a minute you'll see the big Art Deco tower, which is the Victoria Coach Station, and from there I go on the second latest leg of my journey. I go back the way I came along the M4. The M4 goes past Reading, which is just south of Oxford, and then we get to eventually to Cardiff. And again, it's a weird sort of dog leg route I'm going on, but there you are, never mind. You see big huge cranes assembling something or other. That one's almost not quite as big. Get that up there. What the hell's going on there? I don't know. But you'll see the tower of Victoria Coast Station in a minute. I didn't go up to the Reptile House. I just thought, no, I'm not going to bother. I just went and had a walk through Victoria Station, which it's, I don't know, there's a bad atmosphere hanging over this city at the moment. I think it's to do with the pandemic. There it is, there's that tower there. And there's the coach station. Just pop in there and catch me coach, which leaves in about half an hour. That's my coach 509. I'm here in Victoria Coach Station. Everything's all very regimented now. You can't even go in through the door unless you've got a ticket. You can't enter the coach station until an hour before your coach is due to depart. Everything's social distancing. There's all lots of you know, ribboned off pathways. You've got to go in one direction or the other. It's even worse than last year when I went to Newcastle when I was in Birmingham. It's actually, yeah, pretty stringent, and I'll be glad to see the back of it, I really will. Anyway, there's my coach over there. I'll be getting on there in a minute. Perfect way to pass a long journey. Excellent magazine. Just got off the coach. God, that was a horrible journey. I'm telling you the truth, I slept most of it. I didn't actually. I was trying to read Nexus a couple of times like you saw, but I actually was very tired, so I slept. Which is good, because I'm going to probably be up late tonight. So I'll need to get as much sleep as I can. All very... The whole thing is regimented now because of the pandemic. You have like you have to get on in order. You have to get off in order. You can only sit by the window seats. Only one person per seat unless you're with the household, like per double seat unless you're with someone else. So I couldn't sit next to anyone I didn't know. So the coach is only at half capacity. I don't know how National Express. This is going to bankrupt them eventually if the lockdown doesn't finish. I was like, you've got to wear a mask as well, mind you. This one here, you know, it's like it got a bit wet from. I was sweating and it got wet, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, I took it off because I couldn't breathe. When they're wet, you know, you can't really breathe through them. They're very difficult to breathe through. That's why waterboarding is. That's the basis of waterboarding. You suffocates the victim because it wet. They put a cloth over the airways and wet it, so it's no longer. You no longer get air through it. But I'm here at the coach station, Sophia Garden coach station, Cardiff, my nation's capital. Oh. So it's just Sophia Gardens coach station is literally just that. If it's luckily the weather's lovely actually, but if it's raining, there's the coach. There's just like a little shelter you can stand in. There's nothing else really there. For a city the size of Cardiff, you'd expect something a bit better. But it's a lovely area, this is, see? Millennium Bridge. Ponte Millennium. Everything's Millennium in Cardiff. Croeso Garth Gweud. I've been trying to brush up my Welsh on Duolingo. See how much of it I know. Now I'm here. Here's the River Taff. Oh, I had a... when I took my mask off, there was this woman. The woman on opposite me did give me a dirty look, and I thought, oh my God, I've got myself a COVID Karen. You've had a COVID Karen, I'm sure. We've all had them, haven't we? And I was just waiting for her to say something. I was waiting for her to say, you put your mask back on, please. Put your mask back on, or I'm going to tell the driver. And have you thrown off the coach. If she'd done that, I'd have just explained, look, I can't breathe. But she didn't. She didn't say anything. The River Taff, it's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Now I've got to find my way. I've got to find my way to the M4 Travelodge. Now I've been here before to the, as you know, I've done several this will be my 4th expedition to Pentyrch, actually. The first one when I met Kas, second was the conference, then the third one was when I met that witness. Now I didn't film it. That was when I actually stayed at the Travelodge. I didn't film it because the reason I didn't film it was because the witness, who shall not be named, actually insisted. You know, he was very nervous about speaking out. This is what the skeptics go on and on about how people make up stories to get attention to themselves. Oh, I saw a UFO. I saw a UFO. That is extremely rare. This guy doesn't want any attention at all. In fact, you know, I reassured him. Look, I says, I'm not even going to bring my camera. Will that be all right? Because he was a bit dodgy about whether he'd even speak to me. And in the end, I said to him, look, I won't even bring my camera. Will that do? And he said, okay. So I didn't bring my camera with me, so I didn't film it. What are we going for? I think the city centre we've got to go for, haven't we? Yeah. I've thought about how I'm going to get there. See, what I did last time was I actually got on a train and went up to Pontyclun and got a taxi from the station. It was like, then I realised the station had 2 entrances, so I had to keep walking backwards and forwards between them because I didn't know which one the taxi was going to come to. There's no way to get to the Travelodge on foot. There's no pedestrian access at all. It's like a service station on the M4 motorway, and you can only get there by car. I mean, I actually walked to Pentyrch from there, but I had to climb over a fence. There's a barbed wire fence surrounding it to get down to a little small road. I had to hack through some bushes to get through to a little road. I don't know if you remember the video. I did make a video report afterwards when I got back, and I had some still photos of my trip. But obviously, like I said, I didn't film it because the witness. Because of the witness, I didn't bring my camera for the sake of the witness. So I actually walked up to Pentyrch from there. It's only a short walk, about an hour from the. It's all uphill, but this time what's going to happen is I'm thinking of just getting a taxi all the way to the service station, to the Travelodge. It cost me about 30 quid, but what the hell? I'm feeling a bit low on energy at the moment. I need a cup of tea. I need to charge my camera battery too. Top it up. Also, Kas is going to come pick me up. I think she's got a car, and she's going to come and pick me up. But there's no rush for that. It's only about 12:30 right now. So I thought, what the hell? I'll just get her. I will just simply get a taxi from Cardiff Centre. I'll go to the station. That's probably the best place to get a taxi. I know it quite well actually because I came here when I was researching Evansland, because the description of Cardiff City Centre is based on in the book is based on my own visits here. I went about 3 times. So I'm quite familiar with it. I'll go to the station and get a taxi all the way up to the surf station. Oh man, I'm glad to be off that coach. I've got to go back though tomorrow at 11:45. I've got to be back here. Just a quick trip. Oh man, never mind. I'll head through this beautiful park now and find myself a taxi rank. There's the Millennium Stadium where Wales will hopefully be beating England again soon. I have to say, I couldn't get into the Six Nations. I haven't been able to during the lockdown. It's just not the same. It just feels so wrong. without the crowds. I mean, that's what makes these live sporting events so special. It's the same with football, I'm sure. Cricket, you know, there's a whole culture associated with people who go along and watch. And that was missing, and that in Wales is especially important, because when it comes to like the pageantry and the crack and the camaraderie, you know, of all the rugby teams, I think Wales does it the best. To have that taken away by the pandemic, it took the spirit out of the entire sport. I think, you know, rugby's not rugby without the crowds. Absolutely beautiful weather today, really lovely. I mean, it's always a gamble when you book a Skywatch. I mean, this is something Kas organised about 3 weeks ago, and it is always a gamble, but goodness me, it's come heads up this time, I'll tell you. This is going to walk around Cardiff Castle. I'm still not exactly sure of where I'm going, but I think I'm heading in the right direction. Cardiff Castle. That's where Warren and Evan met their contacts when they came to Cardiff. You know, the scene where in Evan's land, I actually walked that route myself just to see what it was like, to get an impression of it. As you see, they've got the diversity flag there. But I tell you what, look, it's the Red Dragon up there. Thank goodness me. One good thing about Brexit, no one is flying the bloody gender study professor's apron on this castle anymore. That's one good thing. They're still like the Ramonas, or the Rejoiners as you call them now. In Oxford, they've got it in their windows and stuff like that, and I thought, let it go, guys, let it go. You lost. You bloody lost. Let it go. It's a fine building. See if we can get a glimpse inside. It's lovely inside, actually, like I describe it in the book. But you have to go in and see it for yourself. So can I ask ticket for this guy? I'm trying to something. Welcome back, summer 2021. That's it. Yeah. I got it. I'm getting good at Welsh. You're looking there. You can see the keep and the mound. And there's a green space inside, which is very nice. I think we can go in there. Croeso and all. Welcome back. That's great. Oh, we can go in. Do you need tickets to go in? There's no ticket booth. And there's that beautiful dry dock up there above the castle. Very nice. Yeah. Anyway, no time for that now. Diolch am ymweld. Thank you for visiting. Yeah, I knew that. I knew what it meant before I looked at the English. Right, it's about 1:20 in the afternoon. I am at the M4 services at Pontyclean. I got a taxi up here in the end. It's been a bit of a palaver, actually. I got a taxi from the railway station in Cardiff Central Railway Station, and I was quite glad. He's very, very good. I got in there, and I haven't been in a taxi for so long. Maybe it's all changed from what used to be done. But I was expecting there to be a meter, you know, and you have to watch the meter as he's driving along. I think, oh, I've got enough. Keep counting your pennies. But he says no. He says £30 for the whole journey. And I thought, that's reasonable. That's less than I expected. If a journey of that distance in Oxford would be at least £40, £30 is a lot. I mean, getting a taxi is expensive. I mean, my coach ticket from Oxford cost less than my taxi from Cardiff Central to here. Nice chap, nice taxi driver, and he was talkative, you know, friendly, and like I say, he gave me the flat fee straight out, so I just got the money out, and that was it. I could just sit back and enjoy the ride, which you can't normally do in a taxi. I got up here to this is the service station behind, you can see around you. The Travelodge is part of this service station. The problem is, I forgot something. Oh, I've got a cup of coffee here. I thought I'd get myself a cup of coffee. Travelodge, they don't check in till 3 p.m. and it's just about 1:20. So I might as well have hung around in Cardiff for a bit longer. There's more to see and do than there is here. I mean, there's literally nowhere you can go if you haven't got a car. There's no pedestrian access to this area at all, except the way what I talked about earlier. as I said earlier, when I came here last to interview the unnamed man, I found there's like a barbed wire fence behind those trees over there, and if you climb over it you can walk down through some bushes and get onto a road, but that's not a proper access. You've got to climb over a barbed wire fence, which is about a good 3-4 feet high. Not everyone can do that, and it's completely unofficial, of course. So I'm basically stuck here until 3 p.m. I think about texting Kas, but the problem is Kas wants to come pick me up, but I've got to come back to check in anyway, so I might as well just wait. And I've got to top up my camera battery as well. But I don't think Kas is bothered, because it doesn't really matter until, and the event, her event doesn't start till 8 p.m. So I just grabbed the coffee here. I went in with my subversive mask, which says 2 + 2 does not equal 5. It's the freedom from which all other freedoms emerge, George Orwell, of course, as I've shown you this mask before, haven't I? But they gave me this Bernie Sanders mask as I walked in, and I said, well, thanks, but I've got one. And he says, oh, just keep it anyway, foreign lady. I said, okay, I'll keep it as a spare. So I used to wear these at the hospital. They're exactly the same masks that Pete, you wear in theatres, so I'm used to these things, except mine had ties that you tie around behind your head. These have things that go over the ears, which are less common. But all I'm doing now is wait, and luckily I do have my Nexus magazine, Nexi, whatever the plural is, to read. I've also got my audio with me, where I can listen to the delectable Stephen Greer crooning in my ear. Yeah, and I'm not bothered. I'm going to relax for a bit. And at 3 p.m. I'll check in, and then I'll text Kas. But I said I'd text when I got here, but I'm very early. I don't think she'll mind if I don't text her just yet. Unless she texts me first, I'll check. Alright. I'm in the W.A. Smith here, junction 33 M4. No Nexus, unless it's all sold out in that gap there. Well, I'm here. I'm in the Travelodge now, and you can see it's a standard furnishing. The usual sort of strange cherry pictures on the wall. I don't need to give you another tour, I'm sure. It's quite an old-fashioned one, actually. Look at the key. Look at that. You don't see many of these anymore. It's a good old-fashioned key and thing like that. Nothing electronic. It was like, I remember that from last time, actually. Anyway, I managed to get in touch with Kas, and she's going to come pick me up at 4. It's now 3, which means I have an hour, so I'm going to charge the phone up. I'm going to charge this camera I'm using up to just top up the batteries, and then I'm going to have a little rest until then. It's lovely weather. I just saw a newspaper headline now. Lockdown is definitely extended. Oh dear. I don't know what that'll mean for the conferences, but I'll try and keep that out of my head. I'll just try and focus on what I'm doing now, because it should be quite exciting. I'm actually going to go sky watching tonight. I still don't know exactly what form this will take, but Kas seems to have organised something. She kept talking about how she was like, a lot of people were coming, and she had things planned, so I'm quite excited to see what that will be. So I'm just going to sit here and have a little rest, and then I'll head on my way. There's a very noisy family staying here. It took me it took like 5 minutes just I had to wait behind them while it took ages just to check them all in. Just some like teenagers and young kids and things. So that's going to be a bit less disturbing, but you know what I mean. It doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter. I don't know what time I'll be back. It could be quite late, but anyway, with a nice full battery, I might even take the charger with me in case I get the chance to charge it up while I'm there. Hopefully well, who knows what I'm going to film this evening. But Kas is coming in just under an hour, so I've got a chance to have a little lie down. Pentyrch, I made it. Kas came pick me up from the Travelodge, and I've now arrived in this village, which you may recognise from previous productions. I'm going to head to the shops. I'm going to go get a couple of bottles in. I've just been into Kas's house, and hopefully I'll get a few shots of it later, including perhaps a few words from Kas. And Gary Jones is there too, a few other people. They've got kids with them. There's like a family. It's a lovely atmosphere. The back of her garden, she's got like a patio. with a settee, and there's like some astroturf, but there's also like a big green, this big lawn at the back of the garden, which is where we're going to do the sky watching later. And I'm really very much looking forward to that. It's a lovely atmosphere. Everyone's sort of turned up. Gary's turned up with some of his friends. I don't know who else might. You met a couple of the Sufon guys might turn up, Mike and Emlyn, you never know. But that's Mynydd Garth up there. I think that's Mynydd Garth, which is like, and of course, I'm not actually too far from, hope maybe I'll show you later, the gate again. And I've never seen it before at night. It'll be interesting to see the gate at night, I must say. So, but I'm just going to head for the shops now, because I need to get some beers in. Everyone else has bought a bottle, so I thought I should too. I didn't know there was going to be bottles, actually. I didn't know there was that kind of thing, but shows how long I've been out of Wales. Alright guys, see you later. Well guys, we're just basically, at the moment, having a few drinks, and we're just listening to music, and I've met a few really interesting people, like including other people who have YouTube channels, and I'll tell you who's Gary from the previous instalments of this video.
How you doing?
Hey, how's things, mate? Yeah, how's things been getting on with your research?
Going quite well, actually. I think we're nailing a lot of the radiation stuff. One of the updates, I would say, I never confirmed it. I never said it was real, but I was hoping that when we did the radiation readings in the beginning, that it showed high radiation to that of a chest X-ray. Now, it does confirm that there was a lot of higher level of radiation than background level, but we're just not sure exactly what it is. So it's like, it's inconclusive. We're trying to work it out, but I think what we can say is that there definitely was higher than normal levels of background radiation over there 22 months after the event. Now, whatever strength that was, okay, we can't really nail that down, so we're just going to have to keep working on it. Hopefully we'll get somewhere. We're going to do another scan of the fields very soon, so cool. Whatever we get, that'll hopefully help us out. But the EMF is definitely spot on. You know, it's way higher than anything you would detect in those fields. As I've already said to people, the other surrounding fields, you know, which are just behind me here, they didn't show anything. But when we got into the area where the craft was seen, and especially where the two barrel orbs are, you can see the tree right by there. Look.
Yeah, that's the actual location.
One of the trees, yeah, that's where the one that was red and turned to green, and what Kas felt like she was being scanned or something, and as Kas described, it felt like she was being scanned when all the fear got taken out of her and everything. Yeah, we found EMF there and along the gorse bushes to the side of it, and we found in the fields high levels of EMF where the craft was actually seen, and they were there for quite some time. I mean, 22 months is a long time.
A very long, yeah. I mean, it's like this is something obviously had an effect on the surroundings. This is the location where the strange objects appears. There's like the barrels and the huge pyramidal or triangular shaped object. So the actual radiation landscape of that particular location is very different from the surrounding area. Yeah, there's definitely a radiation anomaly.
Well, the city. The interesting thing is as well, and this is something that is just even more baffling if you don't understand the case, is that when Kas and her friends went up to Smilog Woods, the area had been felled by the time we got there. But when I did a grid reference search and a whole scan of that area, I found EMF in by the crash site, what we call the impact site or crash site, whatever you want to call it. When you look at the side of the road, there seemed to be EMF there as well. But the interesting thing was there was a trail of EMF in the one patch that had been cut down, and it led right into the crash site. And if you follow it back, it goes back to Lantris Common where that large explosion was here. Now, people, for those who don't know this, the large explosion was actually registered on a seismic signal. Well, the things that record seismic signals, yeah, and that coincides with the time of the explosion when people were talking about it. So, you know, you can't deny that. I mean, it's interesting because if you were to look at Smilog Woods on its own, like if you imagine Smilog Woods was its own UFO case, that in itself is very, very interesting. But when you tie it in with this, you know, what you've got is, you know, something that just cannot be explained as a military exercise. I'm sorry, but no. I mean, we've got the paranormal scholar lot down here as well. You know, we're all having a get together here, and you know, the comments on their page clearly define that they would never ever hold a military exercise over a public place, over a residential area, day or night, because of fear of accidents. And they did. It seemed that they did have some sort of accident because one of the Apaches had to make a how to make an emergency land at a Cardiff airport.
That's right, yeah. I mean, I remember in the last film where we did a little tour of Smilog Woods, and it was very, very interesting indeed. And we did a tour of the site here in Pentyrch as well. It's like several researchers have claimed, like Richard D. Hall said, because he visited the Royal Mint, where they were doing an exercise at Llanfriesant. But all he saw was, it looks like they were using like thunder flashes, fake incendiaries, and they produced a cloud of smoke. But what we're talking about here is something that shook the entire Royal Glamorgan Hospital.
Yeah, this is something that needs to be clarified, because that happened on June. I'm not sure it was June the 21st or June the 20th, but it was in late June, the June 20th. I got the actual data is on the presentations that we've done. It's on my BitChute channel, by the way. If you go to BitChute, type in Gary Jones or Pentyrch, you should find it that way. The thing you need to understand is that was done 4 months after the initial thing that happened here. And they were doing it in the daytime in an abandoned building complex not too far from the Royal Mint. And they were just using simple little, well, some would call them fake incendiaries. The idea of a fake incendiary, or what people would call a fake explosion, is that it simulates it.
Makes a loud noise. And
it makes a noise, not a loud noise. What you get is like it's almost like a pyrotechnic. I mean, it creates the sort of like, it creates the smoke and the puff of brightness, but it doesn't produce the loud kinetic energy bang that would come from something that was armed on an Apache or anything.
It's not a real ordnance. I mean, what was the detonation, the explosion near the Royal Glamorgan Hospital is what you found from Sirius, like a serious bomb or something. It shook the building. I mean, that's like a real.
It shook the building. It shook the Royal Mint. It shook houses nearby. And many people were up all night, and when they heard that, it was like, the car alarms were going off, and other people I've spoken to, the one thing that is wholly conclusive on this is this loud explosion. The loud explosion just doesn't happen in an exercise like this. Like I said, they'd use simulated explosions. They don't use live ordnance in an exercise.
You couldn't do it.
This is something else. Again, it's why would they do it late at night, unannounced? And as you said yourself, you're a hospital porter. You work with the NHS, and you would not have an unannounced exercise. They're backtracking a lot of this stuff. They're backtracking a lot of this stuff now. First of all, when the initial FOIs were going out, just to ask them this question, they said, no, we didn't receive anything. We didn't know anything about it. The police told us that. The fire service told us that. The flipping Royal Mint told us that. Although they said there was the Welsh Counter-Terrorism Extremism Unit, I believe is the correct term. But the interesting about the Wales Counter-Terrorism Extremism Units is that they're in charge of all the police in Wales. So it's interesting when they say that the police were shutting down roads far away, and they were shutting down roads on the M4. It seemed like no one could get in or out of the place. Now, we've had people say with Smilog Woods that sometimes they do shut the place down because they reckon people are in there, having a bit of a messing around, like having a, what can I say?
It's a dogging area.
Dogging area, that's it. So
look it up, guys, if you don't know what that means.
But I don't think the military would come out for that. Now, one of the other now, there's been some debunking efforts on. This is something I think you want to be updated on. I've had people on debunking sites trying to say that this was helo drops, or the lights in the sky were helo drops, or that they were dropping parachute drops with lights on them. The simple fact is, right, that's where it had to happen, and that thing was seen just around the tree line. Now, unless they were stupid enough to jump out of a plane, just 100 feet off the floor without, the parachute won't deploy in time, and as some of the people said, it's flares. And some of the video examples I've seen of people using flares, it's like these aerobatic, that's what they call it, people who jump out of aeroplanes and then they form formations as they fall.
That's right,
and they have these like flares on their ankles, which light up. But that, again, it's all done from like. So I mean, if I'm looking directly up that way, like how many thousands of feet you have to be looking up? We weren't looking up over there. They were looking directly in front of them. You can't have that, and that doesn't even fill your field of vision. And the distance between the gate and into the second field, as we call it, and then the third field, as far as that goes, I believe it's about 200 metres, maybe.
I had a debate with this.
It's not going to happen.
I had a debate with a skeptic at the East Anglia UFO group. He said, it was drones and flares, nothing else. And I thought, no, come on.
But the FOIs have already been handed out. There was someone named Jennifer Martin did an FOI for the Royal Air Force to ask about the flares, and they said, no, there's no information within the scope of your request. In other words, no flares fucking happened. So, and if they were flares, they would have been flares to be found, It'd
be very easy for them to simply confess if it was just an exercise, and they won't. So,
it would not be hard for them to say that it was flares, or that it was some kind of you know, something that was attached to one of the C-130s dropping off chaff or something, but none of that happened. None of that, because I'm not being funny, right? That kind of thing is easily spotted. Now, I mean, you know, we've had more witnesses come forward during this time. I can't speak about the one right now, but one of the things that people don't know is that, you know, there's a guy who calls himself Mike Hembry. Now he was walking his dog along Tinnacoid Road, which is just up the top of those fields.
Right, to the other side, isn't it?
Yeah, it runs around and goes up and then into the other county, into the other town over there. And what he described was very much what Kas, Clark, and Dave described when they reported it to us. Now, this was only like a week later, the 6th of March 2016, I believe, he posted on the South Wales Awakening. The simple fact is, how could he report something so similar? You know, if you know, this thing isn't really, you don't report flares. We got another guy who lives past Swansea Way area, I believe it is. Anyway, later on, sometime after 4:30, coming around towards 5, green cluster of lights being chased by jets and helicopters later on after it. You know, so clearly there were some of these green orbs that came out of this large triangular craft were going that way.
Yeah,
and they were being chased, you know.
Yeah,
and
I've actually,
it fits everything I've done with the timeline. One of the things I've done with this investigation, as you see in the presentation files that I've done, if people would go and watch them, you know, I've done a lot of work on this. I put it all together. Me, Kaz, and everyone else has helped us. You know, I've put a lot of effort into those videos to make sure it all fits, and you've seen them.
Yeah,
and it's a timeline. You know, it all fits.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, it's like I mean, I've actually had. I'll come this side, sorry. I've actually had someone has actually showed me an unpublished photograph taken from the other side of Garth Mountain, Mynydd Garth, whatever you call it. And it's, I don't want to get the sunlight on the lens. Hang on. It's not a very good quality photo. I think UFO photos tend not to be very good, generally, technically. Because basically, people are trying to take a photograph, their hands are usually shaking, they can't get the focus right.
When you say unpublished photo, is that the one that came out recently?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You've actually seen it?
I've seen it. It's interesting. I mean, every bit of evidence is interesting, but it just goes to show this is so much more than what the skeptics are saying it is. So, Gary, thank you very much for filling.
I'll just say with the photographs, you know, hopefully when we can release them and properly announce, you know, the witnesses and stuff. The one thing I'd always like to try and do is to get some professionally analysed, and although, you know, I can't do that until later at some time. You know, the thing is with the case right now, there seems to be a lot of hacking attempts on computers. You know,
we just heard
Kas
about
Clark
that.
put out a notice on her Facebook page. I made it as well, that she got hacked.
That's
the laptop got hacked, yeah. I was on Facebook and something was acting very strange, and the way I thought is like someone was trying to hack me. Now I've got a lot of antiviral malware stuff on my computer, like, you know, so hopefully it's protected, you know. So you have to be very careful.
Because you know, I had I don't know if there's a connection here, but I've been already told the viewers about this. I had a video ban last night just before I was about to go to bed to come here, and I ended up having to watch the entire video on another, because obviously I was backing up on BitChute like yourself. And I thought, they banned it for bullying and harassment. I watched it again just to make sure. Where's the bloody bullying and harassment?
Well, the simple fact is, as well, is one of the people who know about this case, you know, helped us. They did some sort of search for how many hits the Pentyrch incident had actually had, and apparently it's at 0. Even though that Laura Roten and her husband Eric put out a documentary on Paranormal Scholar, and it's at close to, it's probably passed up 500,000 already in a month.
Yeah.
Now I've gone on Facebook and typed in Pentyrch. I've gone on Google, typed in the Pentyrch incident. You can't find them. I've posted a list. I think you've got them.
Yeah.
You know, it's about 10, maybe 12, maybe 15 links. There's more I think I can get there now as well, where we've done interviews, where we've done presentations, and we've shown a lot of stuff. You know, I just wish people would watch them. The one thing I really would like people to watch, right, you know, is the EMF enhancement one. Yeah. That actually really shows how we went about mapping out these fields, right, and making sure that what we did was not get false positive readings. You know, like nothing in the ground or nothing above our heads, or you know, like there's a radio transmitter not too far away, like, you know, which we thought maybe that was picking that up, or we had electronic equipment on us.
You did it properly.
You know, we really made sure that we eliminated all areas where this could be giving us false positives. The point is, you know, when you grid reference search something, if you just imagine, that grass there is the field, you know, what you do is you start in a corner and you break it into sections, and you just go across and up and across, and every time you get a beep on the meter, that's when you mark it out. And when we marked it out, it showed the trail, that an EMF trail of the actual craft's block position across those fields. So that you can't make that up.
No.
EMF is a fingerprint. High EMF, when there's no other explanation for it, is a fingerprint of like a like a calling card, if you will, that gets left behind when these things appear.
And it often happens, like with other UFO incidents. I've seen this happen with others, and it's honestly, Gary. I do hope listeners will go and check you out, and obviously you will be on her panel radio again soon. I hope with Kas, and this is an open case. It's still ongoing.
Still an ongoing investigation.
I appreciate you being on again, giving us your update.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be more later because we're going to be doing some interesting things later this evening.
Cool.
So stay tuned, ladies and gents. The sun's going down now. It's been a lovely day. The weather's perfect. We've been very lucky. So we're going to begin the Skywatch shortly, I think. I've come out to have a look at the gate. This is the famous gate at Pentyrch, where the object appeared in February 2016. And the reason I want to come out now and have a look at it is I've never seen it at night time. I say night time, this time of year it doesn't really get dark, but not till very late. But this is where they stood about 2:30 at night. Look at that, there's a lovely crescent moon now. See that, it's beautiful. It's very atmospheric here at night. Looking at the first field. It was over there where my camera's pointing at the object. It was so big it filled the sky. Touched down. And the two barrel-shaped objects, red and green, flew over this area here. Let's have a look at the gate. There used to be a sign on here saying, here we go. A UFO, you can't really make it out. You've seen it, you can see it better in the other film, but it's a UFO area, UFO sighting area. There used to be another one on here, it's gone. Like something. Yeah, it must have been a very, very strange experience for those guys to be here at night time, seeing those things. I've been talking to the other, I met a few people I know. Some of them have YouTube channels. Some of them you may be familiar with. I'm not going to name them, but some of them people you may well be familiar with. They're here to take part in this Skywatch, including the other witness, the guy I spoke to. He's here. So I think it's almost time for the Skywatch to begin, so we'll see what happens. I don't know how much you can see of this, but this won't come out on film, but there's a military aircraft just went over quite high altitude. It's a red light up there. What it did was it started.
That's lower than 33,000 feet.
You saw it. It started. When it just suddenly started producing a chemtrail, just like that. Which is very strange, and it's just gone now. We're going to begin the Skywatch shortly. Let's keep it. This is amazing sky we got here. I mean, you never have anything like this in Wales. You know, in Oxford, never, because there's too much. There's too much light. All right, Kas, how you doing?
Just need to sit down for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
And you,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm so glad you made it tonight.
I'm so glad I'm here. Yeah. You had a. Is that the noise?
Oh, it's the tones we play.
Oh, the tones, yeah. It's like crop circle noises.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they are.
You managed to get hold of the app.
Oh, I had it years ago. Like, not the new one. God, it was years ago when they brought out the first one, wasn't it? And the one that's out now is quite...
10 minutes, and everything's going to be...
There's been a lot of developments since I spoke to you.
Yes.
There's been a lot of developments, haven't there, Kas?
Well, we now know that the people that came and camped in the fields here.
They're spraying like bastards.
Oh, there's another chemtrail. You might see this. There's a chemtrail over there now. Just appeared. But the noise you can hear are tones which... It's basically the CE5 protocols. Someone's got the app here, which you can get from Stephen Greer for, I think it's £9 or something, which is quite cheap. So nice. That's
Crop
the
circle tones.
It is. It's like crop circle noises, yeah.
It's the tones that were recorded in the late 90s when they went in and measured frequencies around crop circles.
Oh.
So they turned the frequencies into tones, and then that's what those are.
I've heard recordings of those. There's a lovely crescent moon
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I showed it people when I went to the gate. You can just see it over there. Just see the crescent moon peeking through. Okay, just going to keep watching the skies now, see what happens. Okay, guys, we've seen a couple more military aircraft high flying. There's more stars coming out, and you can hear the noises of the CE5 protocols. They're based on crop circle noises, and I've heard recordings of crop circles like this. And if we meditate and we just wait and patiently, hopefully the aliens will show themselves to us. We're up here on this big patio decking that Kas has got, which is perfect. It's a perfect sky watching platform, actually. So I'll keep you posted of anything interesting we see. Okay, guys, something strange has just happened. A car has just driven up the alleyway here, and we're heading out towards the gate because it seems to be in the field, which is very unusual behaviour. We thought it might be the farmer, but normally the farmer doesn't come back this late at night. We're just approaching the gate now. Let you know what's happening. Gary, the gate's open. Is the gate open? Yeah. Okay, so the gate is open. We saw the car moving around in the field. Gary, what's up, mate?
This is the farmer. It's the only one who's got access to the lock.
Yeah, so
I don't know. Anything weird, I don't know.
maybe.
Look,
What are you looking at?
down there, right.
Yeah, there's some lights. You'll probably see that, ladies and gents. Viewers, there's some lights down there. Can the farmer get round? Let's have a wee. Can the farmer get down there? Where's Vicky?
Vicky coming?
I thought she was ahead of us.
No, I went on.
There's some lights down in the field. We think it's the lights of the car. Can you drive down there for me? I'm just going to go over there and go and have a look. Let's see where I'm going. Ow! Oh. Sorry. That was a bit of a struggle, that. Yeah, we see red tail lights now. You can probably see those. What's he up to then?
I'm still there.
Hmm.
Doesn't look anything interesting.
No, it's probably nothing. Okay, we're coming back. Coming back now. There's probably nothing interesting to see here. It's probably just the farmer doing some routine stuff. We're going to return now to the platform where we were watching what we were watching before. So anyway, it's worth checking out just in case something weird's going on. Weird people hanging around. Okay, guys, we're back on the decking now. I can see you can't see this, but I can see the Ursa Major, the Big Dipper, the constellation very clearly now. There's several other stars. It's getting darkness is increasing now.
Focus on that area over there, isn't
The portal is the area where the lights appeared in 2016, so that's basically where I'm pointing my camera now. So let me know if you see anything. Just shout, ladies and gentlemen. Shout! Finding something at it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gents, we've got a steady bright light moving.
Going dark now.
Yeah.
Someone's pointed a light at it. Is it stopping? Did it stop? No, it didn't stop. Where is it? It's gone. Come down. If that's what it is.
Yeah, because we're not on any satellite flight paths.
Oh, right.
In fact, David has a map on his phone that can show you where the satellites are.
And there's none coming over.
All of the satellites, not just one or two.
They're not coming. No, it's faded now, but it's faded. But we did see a steady white moving light just now. Fortunately, you can't see it now, but someone was pointing at it from the garden.
We had one do a loop the last time.
We've just saw a bright light near the horizon, right
And it's just gone out.
Yeah,
I can
it's gone.
just about make it out.
No one did. I know.
No, we saw it.
Press record.
Did anybody film it? Come on, guys.
No, it's disappeared.
We just saw one.
Just saw one down near the horizon near where the tree gap is.
I told you they
Yeah.
over there.
You all right, mate? Did you get that, Eric?
It's right by the ball spot.
No, it seems to have
And you see,
gone.
the thing is, right, if a Santa is going that way, right, it's in the spot of the sun. And it's just faded right in the middle of our eyes.
Amazing, yes. I only saw it for a brief moment, it just went. We just seen another light, which came and went.
Right in the ball patch area again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slightly higher up, but it's slightly higher up in
I didn't
elevation,
realise
but
the
still.
balls all came down to the ground because there's an equilateral set of triangle.
Conversion line there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was just a light that appeared.
That was more in the direction of St. Athens sort of direction. Ball passes that way.
We'll have to wait and see if it appears again.
Portal.
There's one actually moving right now. It's not a plane. You won't be able to see this, but it's very clear. Hey, it's moving from left to right across us.
Have you seen them?
I've seen two. Definite low one.
Don't get abducted now, boys.
It's still there. I can still see it. Very fading. If you look away from things slightly, your peripheral vision can see them better.
Something going really fast.
It's gone now. We've got the one moving. It's turning around. Hello. We've got one that's near the zenith that's moving. Yes, it's flaring up. Hello. Hello there. He lit up and stopped.
He's moved a couple of different ways, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Swimming
moving
about.
back again now.
And there's another one.
It's
going
faded.
over,
It's faded a bit. Where?
straight above, going.
Not as good as that one, eh?
No, not as good
Is
as.
there another one?
Flashing back, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He flared up when we shone the light at him. Is that him? He's moving, yeah.
Yeah.
Very faint. It's better if you look at your peripheral vision. Yep.
Flashing back.
Yeah. We got another one. We got a whole fleet of them.
They go in the fields and play like pop music. Be back short.
Yeah.
He doesn't want. Keeping my eyes away.
Gary and Sanders over there anyway.
They're doing manoeuvres.
Yeah.
I'll get excited.
This is normal.
It's normal for us. I'm sorry if we don't get too excited, but. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for showing yourselves.
Oh, they'll come. They'll come.
Wow.
Yeah, we were literally just talking about how we've seen them coming across flashing all the time, but we've never seen them turning or doing right and turning back. Boom, straight away.
Heading over to the field again. You can't see anything, it's too dark, but you get a better view of the sky when you're over there, because there's too many. The lights of the other houses where Kas lives are just too very bright. Okay, I'm going through this stile now. I'm at the gate right now. Gary, let's come in. Here we see another one going across the zenith right now. Steady bright light, moving. Seem to alter speed. I don't know if that's my imagination.
Sometimes it looks like they're doing a wavy line, doesn't it?
Swimming, Kas calls that, yeah.
Squiggly.
No, I don't know if... You see, it's indecisive. You can't say for sure what that is. Hello.
Who up the chairs?
Okay, so you can see there's like... There's the sunset now. If you turn to the south, there's a glow over the horizon. That's actually Cardiff. You can probably just see that there. That's the glow of the lights of Cardiff. But if you turn north, it's actually pretty clear. And the stars, you see nothing like this in Oxford. It's beautiful. I wish you could see it, Panama TV viewers. It's just really quite spectacular. If you live in a big city, you never see lights like, you never see stars like this. It's really lovely. Okay, I'm back at the hotel now, the Travel Lodge. I managed to get a lift home from one of the people who were there in the event. I tried to get a taxi and couldn't. I caught a lift with some of the other guys with this lady, and so I'm very grateful to her for bringing us back here. I'm tired now, really tired. I'll say more in the morning about what happened, but it's been a great evening, and thank you very much to Kas and to everyone else involved. I'm going to bed now. Night night. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm now outside the Travel Lodge. It's 11:15. I'm stuck here until a taxi comes to pick me up. I got up early and thought I'd leave an hour, which is a good enough time, I thought. The lady at 20 to 11 booked me a taxi from behind the counter at the Travel Lodge. It's now 35 minutes later, the taxi's not arrived. I've got to catch a coach at 11:45. I've got now half an hour, 30 minutes to get into Cardiff and get my coach. And I'm all dependent on the taxi turning up. I just called them again. And hopefully they'll turn up on time. That's all I can do now. I went back into reception. There's no one there. They just put up a signboard saying we're away working. They don't have a permanent reception at Travel Lodge. They probably don't think it's very labour intensive to have someone sitting there all the time. So yes, this is turning into a somewhat problematic little trip. Despite I'll talk later about what happened. It was a very, very interesting trip. But I might have to get the train, which is going to cost me an arm and a leg. If I miss my coach, I can even wait for the next coach. It'll be about 4 hours. Maybe transfer my booking for a small fee, or pay a bloody fortune and a half and get the train home. But I don't know. I'll have to wait and see now. Anyway, I'm going to wait for the taxi. Okay, guys, I'm trying to enjoy this as something of an adventure. I've given up on the taxi. I've missed my coach now anyway. They're never going to get me to Sophia Gardens by 11:45. So I'm now going to see if I can do what I did last time and get through these woods here at the edge of the service station and find a way onto a road, because there is a little minor road near here and there's a fence. Now I remember this from last time, and if I climb over this I should really get to the other side. I remember now. I don't want to get onto the M4, obviously. I want to get onto the small road that goes under the M4 bridge. Right, so I'm going to pull along here. Once I've got a map. Once I've got on here, I can walk into the outskirts of Cardiff to the nearest railway station and get a local train. To be honest, if I've got to get a train home, I've got to, another 30 quid for a taxi is just too much. So I feel empowered, actually. I'm taking matters into my own hands, just as long as I can get through here. Right, now here's a fence. I remember this from last time. Okay, guys, I'm now going to stop filming so I can get over the fence, because I don't want to hurt myself. I can't do both. I'm going to need both hands. Right, so if I go onto this road here, I'm going to use my map to get into Cardiff. This little road, that road used to go to Pentyrch. I walked there last time. This time I'm going to walk this way. See if I can get into Cardiff. That's the M4 bridge, you see. That's literally the only way you can do if you haven't got a car or no taxi. That's literally the only way you can get out of that service area, by climbing over fences. Okay, here we go. Well, I should have done this anyway. Hello, horsey. Good morning. This is a lovely country lane here in South Wales. If I walk along here, I will eventually get to a place called Fairwater, where there's a railway station and take me into central Cardiff. Once I'm in central Cardiff, I can get a train to Oxford.
Oh, it's nice along here. Yeah, I'll just have to plan, the next time I do this, I'll have to plan more carefully. Maybe leave a couple of days grace for the taxi to get here. That's incredible. I mean, the chap who drove me up here, he was so friendly. He gave me endless reassurances, you know, that his cars, you know, they cruise continuously up and down the motorway because they're always picking people up from the services. So I thought, well, this is why I left an hour, which I thought was quite cautious given his reassurances. Landweidewach. That's nice, isn't it? The little church of Mary Farm. Definitely. Given the reassurances he gave me, I thought, well, cool. I'll leave an hour to be safe. I was actually thinking of, you know, leaving 3/4 of an hour. So I called the taxi. I go to reception. It was actually before an hour. It was more than an hour. It was about an hour and 10 minutes. I went to reception and says, "Can you book me a taxi? Take me to Sapphire Gardens coach station, Cardiff." She said, "Yeah, sure." She booked them. It's an official hotline, you know, Travelodge. You know, by 11 p.m. they hadn't turned up. I went back to reception. No one was there. I called them myself, booked it again. Half an hour later, they haven't turned up. They said, we'll get one to you as quickly as we can. I told them, I told the operator, can you get me to Savannah Gardens by 11:45? I've got to catch a coach. We'll get you to, we'll make sure we get one as quickly as we can. And, well, quick as they can ain't quick enough. So, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I'll just learn from experience now. This is now going to be a much more awkward journey than I thought, but I'm trying to see it as an adventure, like I said. I've got to get into central Cardiff from this little country retreat. Here I am. It's actually very nice here. It's I don't want to rush it really. And from there, I can get a train to Oxford. I'll probably arrive. I bet you I'll probably arrive back sooner than I would have if I got the coach. All being well. Well, remains to be seen anyway. But not to worry. I'll get there one way or another. Oh, look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. Just think, if I got the taxi and coach, I would never have experienced this. Talk about always trying to look on the bright side, eh, Ben? I know, mindless optimist. No, I'm not. The thing is, like, when I was a hospital porter, you know, I used to have to deal with drama and danger and things like that every day. It's given me a very blasé attitude to things like this. I'm quite a self-possessed individual. You know, I'm not... you know, it's like... I suppose some of you might be saying, "Oh, Ben, you know, what did you should have yelled down the phone at them, stamped their foot to your feet, threatened to... What else you do?" Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath. Sorry, I was a bit puffed there. The lockdown takes its toll on my fitness. Some people are saying, "Oh, Ben, you're too nice to these people, and when this sort of thing happens, you should stamp your feet, yell down the phone and threaten to report them to every authority you can until they get a car there to pick you up." Now, I know that's what some people do. Some people say that's the way you get things done in this world, is by being nasty to people. Don't be nice to them. If they be nice, I think you're a pushover, and they'll delay even longer. That's not been my experience. People, if you treat them respectfully, I find you get much better service from them. Now, I'm talking from personal experience here, from having been on the receiving end of these complaints. Second thing, you know, if you get angry with someone because they're to blame, the blame is very often not easy to ascertain. It's very often institutional or organisational, and you know, yelling and getting angry with an individual operator or an individual driver is unfair. I think you are punishing an individual who, in their own way, may be doing their job to the best of their abilities, for all you know, for the inefficiencies and failures of either another person, someone higher up in management, or the institution in general. So, no, I'm not going to get nasty with people who do things like this. No, I'm not. I'm going to be polite on the phone. I told them I need to get to Sapphire Gardens by 11:45. It's now about 11:55, so my coach is gone now anyway. And they said, okay, we'll do it as quickly as we can. And they failed. The failure, it may not be any individual's fault, or it may be a fault of an individual who I'll never get to speak to. So no, I'm not going to be nasty to people. I'm going to be polite. Well, it's quite nice around here, actually. This looks a bit Illuminati, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like Coral Castle. It's actually called St. Anne's House.
But it's well, it's like I was only joking about the Illuminati, by the way. Don't come here and protest. It looks like Coral Castle. Yeah, it's nice. I'm making good progress. I reckon I'll probably be in a Fairwater station within an hour. I reckon at this rate. And like I said, this will actually do me good because, like most people in this lockdown, I've been working fewer hours. I put on weight. It's healthy for me. So it's a lovely view as well. Look at that. Get a lot of in Wales ruined railway bridges and other ruined buildings. This obviously used to be a bridge of some kind anyway, not necessarily railway. This is called the St Bride's Road, and eventually it turns into the Pushmelin Road. I'm walking along. It's a bit. You see, it's a narrow road, no overtaking allowed. Drivers have been very good. They've been slowing down as I approach. I go along here, along this road, and eventually it enters Cardiff, becomes the Pushmelin Road, and that's a word that actually means mill pond. Pretty good, eh, Ben? Yeah. Now I didn't have to look that up. And then there's a short walk to Fairwater Station. Let's hope the waters are fair for me. But look, it's not too hot actually. It's not pouring with rain. I mean, how can I complain really? I'm in a tractor over there doing his rounds. This is ironic, a bit of irony for you. There's my map here. Guess what I'm using as a bookmark for the right page? The taxi card. It's the card the taxi driver gave me, which failed me. I'm using this map and walking because of their failure. We couldn't make it up. Okay, I'm approaching a crossroads now. I've actually been wondering if it might be easier just to go on right, which takes me south to a village called St Fagans, but probably not. I'm thinking maybe getting a bus, seeing if I can get a bus rather than a train, maybe get me there quicker, and maybe cheaper actually to get to Cardiff by bus. But I haven't seen a bus stop, so I just keep walking until I do. But if I go straight ahead, I get to Pushmelin Road and Fairwater railway station. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, this is this crossroads here. So right. Barry is actually a place where it's actually a holidays location, that is. Okay guys, just going to cross this road. It may be a bit of concentration now needed. So I'll just... That's alright. There we go. Right. I'm going to go straight ahead, I think. Best thing to do. I'm glad I came this way. It's a lot narrower, a lot nicer. You get lovely views like this. The road's a lot narrower, not quieter. And there's the old sentinel tree there, standing alone all its life and now has died. That's very, very touching. Yeah, look at this. The peace and quiet here is unbelievable. It reminds me so much of last night. It really does. I suppose now's as good a time as any to tell you about last night, actually. Do a little report of what happened. I mean, firstly, I'd like to have got more interviews with people, you know. Talks to Kas, maybe, got her on camera, things like that. But everyone was having fun talking to each other. It was a social event, and I didn't want to interrupt. We were slightly the worse for drink, especially early on. And then, of course, she had those... We did the Skywatch, which, as you saw, you didn't see much because I don't have a camera that can see in the dark, unlike some people. I'm no Win Keach, unfortunately, when it comes to things like that. But it was a lovely to be out there under the stars to see what I did. It's like nothing in the world that you can see in Oxford. You can't see stars of that clarity up in Oxford. I saw like the Ursa Major, I saw the Polaris, the pole star, of which all the stars rotate around. And we saw a number of anomalies, I would say. Steady lights crossing the sky, obviously not aircraft. I badly wanted to show you something more decisive, I really did. I wanted something to appeal that was actually, which some people you sometimes get on Skywatches, which is undisputably non-terrestrial. Well, you know what I mean by non-terrestrial, you know, inexplicable. You know, structured craft, close encounter, that kind of thing. And
I couldn't show you that. I couldn't do it. I mean, I wanted to and I couldn't. But you know, so I'm just staying here because cars keep coming past, and I have to stay out the way. I wanted to show you that, and of course I can't do that. But the one in particular I think stands out, and that was one which did seem to change course. It's turned onto a different course, and it brightened. It sort of flared up, brightened very suddenly, and then flared down again. I know people describe this as something, you know, a satellite or something going over. Kas reckon there are no satellites ever passed over this area. I don't know about that. I mean, that needs to be checked, because satellites. I don't think, is there anywhere that never has satellites? Seems unlikely, but we'll see anyway. We'll see. But satellites usually are not visible. They're usually not visible that late in the evening. There are satellite apps actually you can get which tell you where the satellites are and where they're passing over. But of course there are many satellites that are not on that app because they have a military classified purpose. But even still, you know, they're not visible usually that late after sunset. And the same goes for the planet Venus. Venus is only visible very soon after sunset or sunrise, or just before sunrise. That's why it's called the morning star or the evening star. So there's that one incident I thought was really, really very interesting. There was that one event I thought was. The others could be significant, but I'm not sure. Less so. Less certain of that, but still possibly extraterrestrial, UAP, whatever you want to call them. It was lovely to stand out there. Kas has like a viewing platform in her own garden, which is obviously dedicated to sky watching. It's like a raised patio or decking, which is very, very nice. Very nice indeed. And you go on a bit further, and not far from her house is the location of the gate, which I showed you. And I actually went with Gary and a couple of other guys into the field to get a better view, because there was there's a security light. One of Kas's neighbours has a security light, and it kept going off because a cat walked across the garden or something, and that was annoying because it ruined my night vision, and it ruined the view. It's so bright it ruined the view of the sky. In the field, you know, the houses, because Kas does live in a residential street. There are houses all up and down it, and therefore, you know, the light from the houses themselves was distracting. So, or distracting to the vision. It affected our clarity of the night sky. In Oxford, you never get to see that, anything like that. Too much light. Pentyrch is a small village. It's probably got less than 2,000 people, I'd say. It's really quite a small place. I think even if I'd seen nothing anomalous that out there, I mean, you saw how excited I was and how much I was enjoying myself. At the same time, I was feeling very tired, and I kept dropping off to sleep because of the bad night I had before. Kept dropping off to sleep. Eventually, about 1 a.m. we called it a night. After a very, very interesting series of very, very interesting experiences. Very grateful to Kas indeed for inviting us. I'd love to have told more people about it beforehand, but it was a secret private event, not to be advertised, and so that's how it went. But and now we are now entering Cardiff. This is the just outskirts of Cardiff here. Very really quite something really quite interesting and fun. Met some very interesting new people. Some of them I'd actually heard of before. I've been like one of the guys, I don't know if I'll name him, one of the guys has a YouTube channel where he covers a lot of mysterious paranormal phenomena. I recognised him. He recognised me. We've all subbed to each other. There's a whole load of other things. We had a few beers, had a lovely, lovely barbecue. It was fantastic. One of the best meals I've ever had. She's done after a spread, Kas, I tell you. And learned an awful lot about the updates of the Pentyrch incident, which we'll be talking about again very soon on Panmo Radio. Basically, new witnesses have come forward. To put it in a nutshell, there's new photographs, which not terribly good quality, but you know, UFO photos rarely are, unfortunately. But there's extra witnesses to the event. I met up with the witness that I interviewed last time, whose name I will not mention, and his family as well were there. And there was no harassment by anyone. I mean, we went into the field. We thought someone had gone into the field in the car. We wondered who they were. Probably most likely just the farmer. But here we go. This is all the new area of Cardiff. Cardiff is expanding. Like, oh no, there's a plateau. This area is called. It's like a residential estate. So time will tell with what else Kas discovers, but she seems to live in some kind of weird area for that sort of thing. That's South Wales is. I mean, there's all kinds of rumours about secret government military operations in the area. There's the famous case that Tony Dodd talks about of the two young people, 21-year-old and a 16-year-old, found dead with, you know, capital mutilation-like injuries. Richard D. Hall talks about that on the UFO Human Mutilations and NATO. As first, Richard managed to get in touch with Tony Dodd's old mate, the one who gave him the information, claimed to be a special forces officer involved in that kind of thing. And at the end, of course, which I tried to ring a taxi back, and it should have been a bit of a warning for me. The phone, I couldn't get a signal at first. Someone else tried to call them and couldn't get through. We've arranged, we tried to get Uber weren't responding either. That should have made me alert to problems coming up the following day, which I've just had. But I didn't heed those warnings. But anyway, Vicky, one of the participants, she gave us, me and the other three guys who were with me at the Travelodge, she gave us a lift back to the Travelodge. It's just like a 10-minute drive. So I'm glad I went. It's a lovely sky watching event, lovely way to get out and about at last, to begin re-exploring the world around me after being unable to explore it at all. It's been a gift. And you know, even this experience I've had this morning, the frustration of missing my coach, the extra expense now I've faced of getting home. Look around myself, look at what I've done over the last hour. It is certainly one hell of a silver lining. I'm very grateful to Kas Clark for inviting me to this event, for trusting me to be there. She only invited people she could really trust. A lot of it was in her home. You know, you're not going to let everyone in there. And I appreciate her trusting me to that extent. And wow, what fun. She's got a lovely place, lovely garden. It's playing music and we were drinking and it's talking to each other. Really interesting people there. I'd love to do it again sometime. Anyway, I'm now in Cardiff proper and I'm going to try and find I've got a pavement under my feet and I'm going to try and get myself to the railway station. Okay, I'm on a bus now. I decided not to go to the railway station. I thought I'd get a bus instead. I had to wait about 20 minutes, but I had a quick drink, which I needed. It's probably cheaper actually than going to a Fairwater station. Even though I could buy it, I'm not sure I could even buy a ticket direct from there anyway, so that's not bad. Welcome to Cardiff, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm at the station now. This is Cardiff Station. Well, I'm here at Cardiff Station, and I've just come in. I paid £37.40 for my ticket to Oxford, which is actually only slightly more than my taxi from the service station, Junction 33, to Sophia Gardens would have been. Which means how much I haven't actually lost a lot of money by doing this. Amazingly, the bus was only £2 from up at Northern Cardiff into here near Fairwater. Thing is, I went in there. I went to the ticket office and I said, "Can I have a single to Oxford for the guy?" And he said, "I like your T-shirt, mate. I like your T-shirt." And I said, "It's true, isn't it?" He says, "Yeah, it is true, but you've got to." And I couldn't believe it. He said, "I think we've got to be more. You got to be careful, little boy, because they might try and mess with us a bit by bringing in Project Bluebeam and have a fake alien invasion." And I said to him, "You're really into this, aren't you?" And he says, "Oh yeah, I've been into it all my life, mate." And I'm like, "Wow, you meet a fellow tinfoil hatter you meet him all over the place." And I've just come into one. I've walked into Cardiff Station. There's one here and there's one here in Cardiff. At least one. I'm like, if I called my coach, I'd never have met that guy. I didn't give him. I should have given my. I should have given my Hapanwo address, shouldn't I? Never mind. He'll probably find me. You know, if you're into this sort of thing, you'll find me. Okay, it's a very, very hot afternoon today. I'm here in Swindon. You see around you, famous for being the home of Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, and that's about it actually. I've got to get another train. I've got to change the Didcot. I'm well on the way. It's so far everything's been on time, no problems. But, I think I'll get myself another drink. I'm really thirsty. Thing over there. That's the Railway Museum at Didcot. I'm actually at Didcot now. Dave, I could love that. I've actually found out that the reason my fare was so cheap because I came on this route with 2 changes. But that's okay. I'm on the last leg of my journey home. Quarter of an hour, train to Oxford will arrive. Welcome to Oxford Station. It is about 4:30, which means I am back more than 2 hours earlier than my coach was due back. Even taking into account my little walk from the service station into Cardiff, I've beaten my coach. It didn't cost me a lot more either, so all's well that ends well. It's been a fantastic weekend, just slightly less than the weekend actually. I only went away yesterday morning, but my goodness me, it feels like about 5 days. And I've had a fantastic time, it's been wonderful. I can't wait to do it again. I'd love to do more sky watching. If anyone wants me to accompany them or invite me, please do. Thank you all of you for watching Hapanwo TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order.